Who does she think she is? A romance author? She's a mother. A podcast? Seriously? Another book? What episode are we even on? Here's what you really need to know. Stephanie doesn't just write stories. She invites others to tell theirs. They say everybody has a past. She thinks everyone has a story. And she wants to hear them all. This is Storytelling with Stephanie.
On this episode of Storytelling with Stephanie, I had the pleasure of sitting down with Alexandra, or as many of you know her as Literary Alexandra from bookstagram and booktok. She's a Greek-American entrepreneur, creative, and lifelong reader. We talk about how life experiences shape the stories that we tell, and how stepping back from pressure both online and off can lead to authenticity, creativity, and deeper connection. It's an honest conversation about grief, growth, boundaries, and learning to live your best life. Welcome back, Storytelling with Stephanie. I'm joined today by Literary Alexandra. Welcome.
Hi.
Oh my
Happy
goodness.
to be
If
here.
you haven't, I'm so happy you're here. If you don't follow her on Instagram and booktok, what are you doing? Because it's amazing. Like, she has the best recommendations, the best content. I can scroll
Thank
through
you.
your content for hours. I'm not even kidding.
Well, I appreciate it because sometimes I feel like I don't know what I'm doing half the time. So thank you for that.
Well, I'm glad that you are somebody who's admitting that, because I never feel like I know what I'm doing, especially content wise. I'm like, is this right? Am I doing this right? Am I too old to be here?
I feel that.
I think I found you when you were painting your boyfriend at the time, but now he's your husband, Blue, for that. I think it was like one of your first videos on BookTok. Like, you were the first BookToker I ever watched.
Yeah. That was a
You two
really
were
long
like
time
the
ago. That was
two. Yeah.
almost 4 years ago that I painted him.
I never felt I fit in with a community before, and then I'm like, oh my god, I found my people finally.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's a really welcoming community, and what better way to join? I feel like it's really easy to join Book Talk because it's so easy to share what you're reading, what you love, what you didn't love, and people instantly want to chime in and tell you, yes, I agree with you, or no, I don't. I think your opinion is completely wrong. But I think for the most part, it's a very welcoming, very open community. Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely. And we all love the same thing. So it's not it's so, and especially if you niche down to romance, we all love romance. We're romance readers at heart, romance authors. And I think it's just it's a beautiful community, and everyone's so welcoming and nice for the most part. I was so surprised. I'm when I was even hitting people up in their DMs to come on the podcast, I was so surprised on how welcoming, even if they couldn't come on, they always respond, and they're just so supportive. And I think that that's rare in any sector of the world. And this is something to bring us together in such polarizing times when things are so divisive.
Totally. I totally agree. Yeah.
Now, can you give the listeners a little backstory? How did this start? I know I found you I think 2021, 2020, very early.
Yeah, I think so. I was on TikTok during the quarantine, like everybody else, right? And I think the very first book talk book video that I saw was from Pauline, actually, Books I've Loved.
Yeah.
And I love her account. She's adorable. And I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know. I wasn't a big reader growing up either. I've never read Harry Potter. I never read the classics. I steered clear of romance. So I feel like I'm in a very unique position because I guess when I was growing up, and for all your listeners, I'm 37 years old. I'm on the older side of book talk. So when I think that a lot of these books were coming out and a lot of the fandoms were being created, I was out in the club. You know what I mean? I was in my business casual at the club. That's that's what I was doing in my 20s. So
With the chunky necklaces?
Chunky necklaces, blazers, everything. And so I started reading before I found TikTok, actually, as an escape, because my grandmother had passed away. And so she passed away very suddenly in 2016, I think. Yeah, 2016. And so I came across this ad on Instagram for one of those interactive books. Like, okay,
Oh,
from
yes.
Galaxy. I think yeah, that's the app is called Galaxy. So the first book that I read from them was called The Millennium Wolves. So it was a wolf romance, paranormal romance, whatever. And I loved it, right? So like I read a chapter, and like the way the Galaxy app works is like you read a chapter a day. So like you read the chapter, and then you can't read further unless you pay for
Hey,
it.
yes. Oh, I've done one of these apps before.
Yep, yep. Sure enough, I paid for it because I was like, I need this. Like, I need to know what's gonna happen between these werewolves. And like, before I read those, like, I definitely read like Twilight in high school. I had read Gone Girl in college, and I obviously read Fifty Shades of Grey you know, in college as well. And then I also read Maya Banks, the Rush trilogy, which is like this like
Oh, yes, yes.
romance erotica. Yeah. So like I read that like also in college, but like I didn't like I just stumbled onto those books. Like I didn't know how to find them. Like I didn't know that this entire world existed. You know what I mean? Because like in my mind, when I thought of romance, I was thinking about Walk to Remember or The Notebook. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was thinking. And I guess like I just didn't know that there was a huge genre of romance books, right? Back then. And so um anyway, fast forward, I got the Galaxy app. My grandmother passes away. And as a form of and at that time, I was also laid off from my job. Like it was like one after the other. Like it fucking sucked. And so I was like, okay, I have nothing to do. I'm gonna just read. And so like I was like, made it a personal challenge for myself to read every single day because I'm notorious for picking up hobbies, dropping hobbies very quickly. And I was like, no, let me see if I can actually stick to reading. And I stuck to it. And like, there has not been a day, maybe like one day since 2016, probably the day that I got married, that I didn't read. You know what I mean? And so, like, I've been reading
I love
something every
that.
single day since then. Yeah. And so, I was reading a majority of books on that app, Galaxy app, and then I found Wattpad, and then
Oh my God, I
I was
love
just like,
Wattpad. Were you a fan
yeah,
fiction girly too?
you know what? I'm not a huge fan fiction girly. I really want to get into like Dramini fan fiction. I still want to get into it, but like I'm not, you know, when you're older like me, like I just don't have the time to sit there and like find shit. Like I don't. Like I can't. So,
I'm a
and
big
then at
fan
that time
fiction.
I don't think Kindle Unlimited existed, but like I found some random romance books like in Kindle and all this stuff. And so like anyway, I was reading. And so I saw a TikTok of Pauline, and I liked it. And then all of a sudden the algorithm switched and it was all about book talk. They were talking about, and that time was right before Akasef
Yeah.
came out. And so everybody was talking about Akasef. I was like, okay, let me read Akatar. Let's see what this is all about. And I was like, oh, I'm fucking hooked, right? And so I started reading more books that were recommended on Book Talk. And then my first video ever for TikTok was right before Akasef came out. This is A Court of Silver Flames by SJM. Before that book came out, I posted a video. I'm like, these are my theories. These are my theories of the book. And I literally started the video saying, I'm, this is probably not going to be my only video for Book Talk. I'm probably never going to post again about Book Talk, but I just want to put my theories out there. And sure enough, that was not my only video. And it just spiraled from there. And like in 2021, it was like the heyday of Book Talk and like the like the good old days of Book Talk because like everybody didn't care in terms of like what to post, right? I feel like
Mm.
now it's so saturated.
And
Everyone I
curated.
feel like plays it, yeah, very curated, which is fine. I think everybody plays it very safe. But
Hmm.
back in 2021, I mean, you would be blushing about what people were talking about, the quotes that people were posting,
Yes.
like, and it was like if we could be more and more outlandish, more and more ridiculous, like it
Pushing the
paid
limits.
to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And now it's shifted to be because obviously then we started getting like we started getting dinged basically from TikTok. People's content was getting taken down,
I
like
remember
Book
this.
Talk was getting, yeah, people were cracking down on Book Talk a lot. So people were terrified. They didn't want to lose their accounts or anything like that. And so there was a shift, and I feel like a Book Talk historian. And there was there was a shift There was a one content creator. Her name is Madita. I think she's out in Europe. I believe she's in Europe. Yeah. She started doing videos where she would basically pair the song lyrics to book quotes, and she was started doing like the flipping of the head trend.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm
yes,
explaining this
yes.
correctly,
No,
but
you're
you know what
explaining
I
great.
think you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, for sure.
Sorry?
You're explaining
Yeah.
it
So
perfectly.
she
Yeah.
started, yeah, so she started doing that, and her videos started blowing up. Like people, like it's a catchy song, it's a hook, spicy quotes or some kind of like heart-wrenching quote. People were devouring it, and then everybody started creating those same videos, and people saw a lot of traction. I also contributed to it too. It was such an easy way of talking about the books, right?
Absolutely.
And in a safer way. Like, so people were playing it safe with like spicy quotes, but like trying to like get around community guideline violations. But now I feel like now everyone plays it a little too safe, and I think at times everybody's content looks like everybody else's content,
Yes.
right? And like
Yes.
it's different than doing trends, but it's more so like even people aesthetically are starting to look the same,
It's like a
and
caricature of
like
each other.
people's yeah, yeah, and like it started, and I joined Instagram or Bookstagram because I just wanted an outlet to talk to people. It's so difficult to talk to people on TikTok. It's like not the same. And so with Instagram, I fell in love with Bookstagram. I like and prefer Bookstagram way more than TikTok. Like
Oh,
I feel like I feel like I've abandoned my book talk. Like I really have. I truly, truly have. But now with Bookstagram, again, I feel like people are just a little bit too similar to each other. It's like what are we doing to stand out? Like I know my strengths and weaknesses. My weaknesses is I will never be able to make a gorgeous carousel post with like about a book with gorgeous images and quotes and like like those very like aesthetically appeasing ones. I've tried in the past. They don't do well for me. I'm not good at it. So like I know my strengths. So I'm not going to force myself into this like version of myself. So I'm just like, you know what? No, I'm good. I don't care. And even if like I don't get a lot of followers that way, and so like I think there's certain creators that provide certain things, right? Like some are very good at being aesthetically appealing and making gorgeous layouts, which is great. And then for me, I'm a yapper, and so I want people to come and follow me, yes, for book recommendations or because they think I'm funny or they like my husband or because I'm Greek. And I want them to stay. I want them to stay for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm more than just books. You know what I mean? And
for
so
sure.
I want to be like everyone's like I don't want to be anybody's big sister. That's a lot of responsibility. I want to be the cool cousin. You know what I mean? I want to be the cool cousin, and that's like who I want to be for the community. Yeah. That's a
Okay.
long answer, but I hope I had to give you all the backstory.
No, I
Yeah.
love it. I love like a fellow yapper because that's what I like love about your content and your stories. And it's funny to me that you prefer book talk over I mean Bookstagram over book talk, but I see where you're coming from because one of my questions was going to be like you haven't posted on book talk in quite like a while. You don't post as frequently, I should say. And like is there like I was going to say is there a reason for that? So it's I can see what you mean because I feel like you said, you can connect better with people on Instagram and like there's a
Yeah.
direct messaging and it's just the format is easier to have like real communications rather than like just like kind of posting the content and trying to get views. I think that that's where TikTok shines, but that's very true. And I'm really sorry about your is that your yaya that passed
Yeah.
away?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
my
I
yaya
mean,
passed away in 2016 as well. So like
oh
yeah.
wow.
So like and I that's when
Yeah.
I got back into reading. So that's so like, I guess it's a
So interesting.
parallel there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like so with books like with book talk, it's so like the app punishes you if you do something outside of your niche.
Yes.
Unless you started posting um there's some creators like huge creators not in book talk but just some creators that are like very comedy focused or very lifestyle focused and they can start dabbling in other things because they built that community and I think when you are at a certain size a following, it's easy to start introducing other things. But for me, it's like I don't want to just be in one lane. And so it's so much easier to talk about other things on Bookstagram. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
stories on Instagram are so powerful. And it's like my stories today, I posted my thoughts on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. You know what I mean? Like I could do that on TikTok, but then I don't want to become an account. Like I don't want to be punished because I'm talking about something that's not book related. But then I also don't want to get people that follow me for certain kind of content. So it's like really interesting. And like last year when I got engaged, I even before I got engaged, I started slowing down on posting just because like my views weren't there. And I'm sorry if anybody says that they don't care about views, they're fucking lying. That's not true. Like
Yes.
everybody,
Thank you
it's
for being so
so
honest.
like let's just be honest. Yeah, and like I think everybody should be honest. Like you want the best fucking performing your views. Like you want your video to do so well that an author can say, "Holy shit, because of your one video, I got X amount of sales." Like you want that notoriety. And I don't know why people are not fucking admitting it. Just admit it.
Yeah.
Like you want the notoriety, and that is okay. I want the notoriety too. That's why I stopped posting on TikTok because I was embarrassed by the amount of views I was getting. Like I hated it. So I started slowing down, and then when I got engaged, I became a little bit more private with certain areas of my life. And then my dad got sick, and I was not going to post things about my wedding. Like there's some accounts that love to post every single detail about their wedding planning. I don't want to fucking do that. I don't need anybody else's opinions on what I want to do for my wedding. I don't care. I don't want to share it just because it's content, you know? So I started slowing down. Unfortunately, my dad died, and then I was like, I don't want to fucking post anything anymore. You know what I mean? And it was super hard. And so I was thinking
I'm
about it
sorry.
the other day of actually privating my book talk account
Really?
and privating it and see what happens. And like, do I start over? So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think what you said so much goodness there, and I'm really sorry. First off, I'm sorry about your dad, and I remember you took a break from Instagram during that time too, and you were just so honest and brave with your grief, and I think so many people can
Yeah.
relate to that. And I think you're
Yeah.
authentic, so authentic with your content, and that's what people admire you about. You're not doing it just because it is content. Like you could have done so much bridal content, and like you said, you didn't want to do that because you didn't want the outside opinions, but you're also just staying true to yourself, and people see that when you're posting. And even with your Greek content, it's not like you're becoming a Greek account. It's just like this is part of your life, and I
Yeah.
think that that's so relatable as a fellow Greek girly.
I would say that I think with my dad passing away, it made me realize really quickly how much of this shit doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I think in an ideal world, like I think about like what my perfect life would be, and it would be to be a fucking millionaire because who wouldn't want more money? Because I think it does solve a lot of problems.
It
I would
does.
love if I have kids, I would love to be a stay-at-home mom, but then I also would love to be full-time content influencer. You know what I mean? And like I want to bring people joy. I want people to laugh. I also want to be like serious. Like when my dad had passed away, I took a step back because like I didn't want to post anything because I was so mad and angry about his death, and I just did it didn't feel authentic to me, you know what I mean? And so it's like I did I didn't want to post it, but then also it's like it made me think about like what I do want to share, you know, and I felt like ever since I got married and he had passed away, my dad passing away, I just felt like I wanted to close off a little bit areas of my life. And I was like, is that in contradiction of being an influencer? Because you see certain influencers like, let's say, Alex Earl, who posts everything. Now, to us, it might seem that she's posting everything, but she probably really isn't. But it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. And I'm also in this like weird phase of my life where it's like, okay, I just got married. I don't have kids yet. So, like, what is my content? Like, it's weird. And like, it's so interesting because I don't want to be either like, if I have kids, like, I don't want to be a mom account. I don't want to
Right.
show my children on Instagram. Like, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. So and I thought about becoming like a Greek content creator, but they're so funny and they're so. I have a few favorites accounts that I follow, but like again, it's like I want to be contributing something unique to the conversation, um, and not repeating old jokes that have already been said just because they do well, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, totally. And that's why I love your Greek. For anybody who's listening who doesn't know, Alexandra is Greek, I'm Greek, and should we do this podcast in Greek? You speak Greek fluently, right?
Oh my God, yes.
We should
Yeah.
just speak. We should just speak for the rest of the podcast in Greek. No, but yeah, and I think that that's what it's you're not just doing one thing. You're being authentic. This is part of your life. You show, Pascha. You show, which is Easter. You show, your parts of your life, like about being Greek. But it's not just like one thing. You did the day in the life thing. You did 75 hotter, which is like I love your trend 75 hotter. I think like you should do like a lot more of that. And I can see that from you in the future. And I don't
Yeah.
post my son either. And I think that it's important to keep a certain degree of separation between what is really important to you and like quote unquote work, especially if you do want to do it as like a full-time kind of job. And that's what I, aspire to do.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a delicate balance. And like you said, we don't know if Alex Earl is showing everything, or a lot of these content creators, are they putting on like a mask? Like is that really who they are, or are they a caricature of themselves,
Yeah.
trying to, and like almost like a persona for views, putting on that like hat,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I think it's like I'm more than just books, and I think like when you're in the book community, it could get really exhausting, and it's like it's so much.
I felt that
It's hard.
energy too from book talk. Like there's definitely been a shift in the energy, and
Yeah.
it's almost like a heaviness, and it's not as like it used to be so fun. Like you said in the beginning,
It's
it was
not.
like
That's the thing. That's the
it
key
was
word. It's not fun. And it's not fun anymore. And I can guarantee you, if you were to poll everybody, I would guarantee you, overwhelming amount of people will be like, it's not fun. They feel like it's a job. They feel like it's a chore. They are, those are just my opinions, you know? I,
no,
I
and
used
I
to,
agree.
I used to read a lot more arcs back in the day, and they would take over my life, and I was like avoiding reading things that I really wanted to read. And then you felt like an obligation to post on the day that it was released, and you had to read it before it got released because you have an arc. I've cut back on so many arcs. Like there are several authors that I will take an arc from, hands down, all the time. But like I stopped signing up for arcs. I can't do it anymore. Like I just don't want to make it feel like a job
Yeah. Yes.
for a job that doesn't even pay me. You know what I mean?
Right, you
Yeah.
get like the perks with the reading it early or PR, but it's not your full-time job, and and that takes the enjoyment out of books, and you just love books, so you don't want it to become
Yeah.
like that job, and then you don't like it anymore, and then it's like, well, why am I like then you question, why am I even reading? And then it only hurts the authors who are like trying to produce good product, and we don't
Yeah.
want that certainly. So it's
Yeah.
definitely, and you feel that energy is definitely picked up. I think they're just going through the motions almost of, making
Yeah.
content.
I think so. I think so, especially when you see them being super curated in what they're doing. I feel like
Mm.
they're just going through the motions. But I read a really interesting article that I found on Substack, and I don't know if you know what Substack
I love
is, but like
Substack. Yeah.
love it. So, Substack is just like a collection of people's inner thoughts. Like it's long form content. They're writing it all out. And I found one that was talking about books in particular and talking about being a content creator for books. And they were saying how I feel like we've taken the jokes of I'd rather be home and reading a little too far, where we're not outside living the world. We're not experiencing the world anymore. We're not engaged enough with the community around us. We're not engaged with what's going on in the world enough, right? We're just so tunnel vision on these books and living online, and it's okay to not read all the fucking time. You know what I mean? And she was talking about it. I had to find that article because it was so good. But she was like, where is the line between doing this for fun and an escape for you versus a chore versus work? And I thought it was great, and it made me realize that, and that's why a big part of why I did the 75 hotter challenge, which I'm almost kind of coming down to like the last couple, I think like two or three last weeks, was more for me to like, how do I like engage back inside my life. You know what I mean? Like I was just
Yes.
too focused on reading, too focused on social media. I mean, one of my best friends a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, pulled me aside and was like, "You're not the same anymore. You're just always on your phone. You're never present. You're not present." And that was such a hard thing to say. And it's true, and a hard thing to listen, but it was true. Like I wasn't engaged anymore with my friends. I was forgetting how to act like a human being in the real world, you
Yes.
know? Like
I
I was
relate
just
to
so
this so
obsessed
much.
with what, yeah, I was obsessed with like what are people posting? What are we talking about? Like I didn't want to miss anything. Now if a book is released and I'm just like, "Oh, it released. Okay. Cool." I don't fucking freak out about it like I did in the past. Like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I missed the release
Right.
date and I didn't talk about it. I didn't share about it, you know?" And so a good example is I got the ARC and ALC, which is an advanced listening copy of Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Forty, who I love Liz. I love her Windy City series. This is the last book in the series. And I got like she sent them pretty late, but people immediately devoured it, immediately read it. I had other shit to do. You know what I mean? Like I had other shit to do. And I really had to step back and say, Liz is such an accomplished author. This is her last book in this series. It's such a popular series. Me not contributing to release day discussion is not going to be detrimental to Liz. You know what I mean? And I had to just prioritize other things in my life. I couldn't read it. Plus, it's the last book in the series, a series that I love. I don't want
Right.
to fucking rush through it. Like I want to like absorb it. I want to be present. I don't want to just rush
Absolutely.
through it so I can just post about it on the day and be like, "Oh my God, I read it." And like there's also this like weird like sorry, I'm such a yapper here, but like it's like there's such a
No, I love
weird
it.
thing of this like weird, what's the word I'm looking for? Entitlement. Like people think they're better than other people because they're like, "Oh, like I got the early arc of this book," or "Oh yeah, like I read this book
It's like a
last
competition.
year." It's like
It's
a
like,
weird competition. It's like, who fucking cares? Like, Left of Forever, great read. Marriage of Reconciliation. Tara is one of my really good friends. I love her to death. She sent me a version of her arc. It was like not a beta. It wasn't an official arc. She sent it last year to me. I couldn't get a chance to read it. I was in the midst of wedding planning and everything. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't read it. And then when I finally got around to reading this, it took me about a week and a half. Not because I didn't love it, but because like I wanted to soak up, you know, like there were days where I'm like I could have read this in a day.
right.
100%. But I don't think it would have had the same impact on me. I don't think it would have stayed with me cuz like, you know, those there's videos that people make, they're like, "Oh, I just finished reading a book." And they're like, "Okay, tell me what it's about." And you're like, "I can't tell you." I'm like,
That's
that's
a
actually
bad
not
thing.
good.
No, it's
That's
actually
actually
a
not
bad
like
thing. Yeah.
it's so bad. And it's like actually no, that's actually so bad for you to do. Like it's so bad. And like there, especially when you're reading like binge reading an author, binge reading a series, like sometimes like the stories, the plots, the characters can all kind of blend into one.
For
And I'm like,
sure.
guys, it's not a good, I get it. Like, you know what, if you want to read 40 books in a month, all power to you, 100%. I don't necessarily think it's great to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe you
No,
are,
especially if you're not
I
absorbing the
mean,
material.
maybe you are absorbing the material, but I don't think you're absorbing the material. Also, to read 40 books a month, like I again, no shade to anybody else or people that do this, but it's like I really want people to go outside. I really want people to go outside. Go to a bar, call up your friends. Just like you don't have to go to a bar, just go get dinner, go get
Yes.
coffee. Just
Live
please, like
life.
it's so crazy. It live life. And again, like, you know, with when COVID happened, the pandemic happened, I was already in my 30s. Like I had already established my social, my community. I already had friends. I already had a lot of people got hit with COVID in their early 20s, late teens. I think fundamentally fucked up their development, their social development. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I really
No,
do.
you're
And to
right,
the point where it's like
100%.
I it even affected mine, and I was already in my 30s when this happened, where I had my friends telling me, "You're not present, you are online too much," you know?
How good of that's a great friend though, to be so honest with you and to, pull you out of like, this, haze that you were in
Oh
almost
yeah.
of reading. I mean, what a good, can we just shout out that friend because it's like so good that they
Shout out to
like,
my friend who's also, she's my Cubara, which if you don't
ah,
know, she's also,
yes.
that's the equivalent of maid of honors in Greek culture. But like, yeah, we were at a rooftop bar in Nashville. We were pretty tipsy, and I guess I wasn't fully present. And she was like, snap out of this, And like,
I
I was
love
like, oh,
that.
okay.
I think that's so
Yeah.
important though, because, when you're in this world, and I've even like, writing even my next book, I'm like, the last 2 weeks I've been almost like a crazy person because I have this like self-imposed deadline of June 1st. It has to be done. My next book, like, has to be done. Because like you said, people are like pouring out these books so fast and you don't even have like a time to breathe. And as an author, you feel that way. As a content creator, you feel that way. As a bookstagrammer, you feel that way. It's so much pressure to, not have people forget about you and to get the content out, get the book out, read the arc, and it's too much. It's too much pressure. And I haven't been present at all. I feel like the mom guilt, the like, my laundry's piling up. It starts with something that little and then it can snowball when you're trying to read, 40 books a month. And then you feel that obligation because these people are, you've gotten so close with them and they're your friends and you don't want to let anybody down. And then there's the competition aspect because, oh, well,
Oh
so and
yeah.
so did this. And it's kind of like almost like a shame is wrapped around it if you don't, read it. So like before, but then if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? And back to what you said about like absorbing the material, it's funny you said that because with my newest release that just came out May 7th, I have 4 people on my reviews who used the wrong name for my MMC.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's the MMC's name?
Caleb, and I think they put Jack.
Oh, that is so off.
Isn't that so off? I'm like, thank you for reading, but I don't know where Jack came from.
Well, did they get the plot points correctly at least?
Yeah, and that's why I was so baffled.
Funny and embarrassing for them, not you, for them.
I felt bad. I'm like, and then people were commenting on it, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But thank you for reading. I think, and then I had to go back and check my book. I'm like, did I write the wrong name somewhere? Like, was there a
Yeah,
slip up or like an autocorrect or
yeah,
something? I'm like, I would get it if it was like another C name, like Caleb,
sure.
like, something else. I'm like, Jack. No, or I get it if it was my previous book, like the name and the MMC of the previous book. Maybe they're like, melding together. Oh,
Yeah,
Stephanie Napolitano's books, like together. I don't know. Shout out Jack. But
shout out
that's just,
Jack.
yeah. I mean, but it's so much pressure, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be for fun, and then even for business with writing the books, it should not be this pressure. Oh well, so and so writes books in 3 weeks. I have to get it out, in 3 weeks, and it's too much.
I think like look at Emily Henry. She like releases a book like once a year, right?
Yeah.
Almost.
Yes.
Um, and she is a strong writer at the end of the day. Like you will find your following. Like you will get like it will hit the ground running. Like you know what I mean? Like you don't have to constantly like I know some authors like literally release like 3 4 books a year, I mean, which is great. But everybody's on their own journey and I think everybody needs to just do their own thing and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah.
She's so like such a strong writer, and I mean, I think it depends on your goals as well and like what you want to do. But I am too much perfect. I'm like a perfectionist, and
Yeah.
I want to get better, and I'm really interested in the craft. And I was actually talking to another author about this, and I just want to like hone in on my skills before I start rapidly releasing or anything like that.
Yeah, there's I get the question that happens a lot with content creators like are you going to write a book? Right? Like I like and a couple of content creators have made that transition into
Hmm.
writing books and
Yes.
I think that's amazing. I don't think everybody is meant to be a writer. I don't think it can transition well. Sometimes it can, but I think for me it's like I've had this book idea in my head for the last, I'm not joking. How old am I? I'm 37. For the last like 10, 15 years, this story has been in my
Wow.
mind. Yeah, bouncing around, but I don't know how to write. I don't know how to write. Like, I don't. So it's like, I don't even know how you even become a better writer. And people have said like you just have to write, and like that's how you create and become a better writer and stuff like that. And I was like, is there a class you can take, like a master class or something? Like I wouldn't know how to even start. You know what I mean? But
I
I
didn't
had
either.
this idea
And
in my head, and I love it. Yeah.
I didn't either. And I had like a traumatic experience happen. I would even be afraid to like, I was one of those people who didn't even want to write in my journals because they were too pretty. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to like
Yes.
mess it up. Like that was me.
Okay.
And then I just had like, a traumatic experience happen postpartum with my marriage was just falling apart. And I don't know, this like date, like you said, like this whole daydream, I had this idea of a story, it would not leave me. And then I've had stories like same like 15 years ago that have been circling in my mind. And I always regretted not writing it down and turning it into something. And I'm like, I think you're really going to regret this if you don't try. And so I just started writing it because I guess I lost like the capacity for shame. I don't know if that's such a good thing because I'm now like I'm so like honest, and I'm like, oh, I don't care if I mess up the notebook anymore. And I think it might be like
Yeah.
some kind of like trauma response that I don't have any like shame, and I just feel like life is precious, and we just need to like kind of seize the moment. And I think you'll probably like just be fearless and open up the Word document, and don't be afraid if it's going to suck, because it is at first. Like, not even going to lie to you, it will probably be horrible, and you'll be like, this is stupid and I sound like a second grader. But you could turn it into something. It's like I always say, like my
Oh
book,
yeah.
I knew it could be something. It wasn't anything, but I knew it could. And so if you
Yeah.
have that idea, it's been placed on your heart for a reason. And I would you should try to make it something, because it absolutely can be. And you have such a creative
I mean,
mind already. And I just love your
I,
content. So I can only imagine what's
thank
circling
you.
in your mind.
I think like I definitely I wouldn't mind just like putting it to paper, but like I'm also very much like an auditory person. Like I feel like I'm like sometimes I'm like, should I just like talk it out? Like, you know what I
But a
mean?
lot of
And just
authors
have
do
the
that.
computer and like
Yeah.
just have the computer dictate, because like
No,
I think like
authors do
the
that.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
think I spoke to Lena Hendricks, and I believe she does dictation for
That's so interesting.
yes, a lot of people do that nowadays. And I had a friend who had arm surgery, and she did that as well. And it's becoming more and more popular. And people who are like focused like that, they thrive. And I think that you should try that.
Yeah, that is interesting. I think like for me, like I just want to kind of like do like a dictation of like, okay, these are my ideas. This is the plot. Like this is how I see it, and then maybe kind of go through and like fill in the gaps later. But I don't know if I'll ever do it. I don't even know what will happen. But I think it's like my next hobby that I want to take on. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, hobby, exactly. Like, let's bring back hobby, somebody said on TikTok. And I'm like, that's so true. I feel like we're constantly like this like world, we're trying to monetize our hobbies, and it kind of takes that like the joy out of like things. It's like, let's just do something for fun, like
That,
not trying to
yeah, that
monetize.
was exactly That's exactly what the Substack was saying. She was like, why are we monetizing everything? Like, people love to learn how to crochet. It's like, okay, well, if you want me to make you crochet, like why are we doing this? You
Yeah,
know?
like open
But
my
I think
Etsy
it's because
shop.
I know. It's like, here's my Etsy shop, or here's a Google form if you want to get this like whatever bracelet made. Whatever. If you want to monetize it, that's up to your prerogative. But like everybody then monetizes it, and then people that do it as a hobby that haven't monetized it feel discouraged.
An
You know, it just
inferior.
like creates like a barrier for sure. And it's like I think what it really comes down to is that people just don't like working 9 to 5 jobs. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
because we're
And
not built
I
for it.
think
I don't
that's
think we're built for it. We're
we're
definitely
not.
not built for it. And that's
No.
actually something I want to talk to you about. You're a business owner of an
Oh, yeah,
amazing
I
coffee
am.
shop.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Me and my husband and his sister own a coffee shop. Now, he is the brains behind the operation. He's there, he's just amazing. Like, he's done,
Aw.
like, the coffee shop has been around now for, it's going to be 6 years? No, hold on. We opened in 2018.
Oh
seven
my
years. Oh my
goodness.
God. 7 years this September. So I mean, the reason why we're so successful is because of him. I just have the
Aw.
perks of saying that I own a coffee shop. You know what I mean? Like I mean, I invested in it. I put money in it. But he's definitely the brains behind it. And so, my God willing, I hope that like the goal is to open a couple more cafes and because we have two locations now and God willing, we can open way more and I don't have to work.
Yeah.
That's that's the goal.
Absolutely. I think that's amazing. And how do you balance it all though? Like being a business owner, like do you have business advice that you would give to anybody wanting to like start a business? And because I feel like you're really
Yeah.
organized.
Yeah. So I think the best thing, so when we first were having the discussion of like opening up a coffee shop, I think I was just so afraid of failing. And I was so afraid of looking stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like here I go putting money in like it's gonna fail. But I think that and I had to remind myself because there's like other ideas, other projects that I want to do that I also talk myself out of. But I think with this, I looked at it as like I don't know, I had a gut feeling that I was like, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do. And like I'm like, you have to do it. We weren't ready. And again, these are things that I have to remind myself too, right? Like nothing things don't have to be absolutely perfect and lined up, ready to go for you to start doing it. And I think that's what it is. Like with the cafe, we learned along the way. You know what I mean? Like we did not know how to make coffee. We did not know how to pull an espresso shot. We had no idea. Now we do know. You know what I mean? Like I didn't understand the variety of beans and the different ways of making coffee. What's the difference between a cappuccino and a latte and a macchiato? You know what I mean? So it's like you'll learn all of that along the way. Just don't have any fear and I had to always remind myself that. Yeah.
I love that. And that's so inspiring because we do get so wrapped into the fear aspect and then it kind of paralyzes us from like making a decision either way or even doing anything. It's like, and I think that that's worse than like failing is not doing anything or even trying. That's probably even worse.
Yes. Oh my God, you're so right. And like, I don't know if you've ever seen the show. It's called The Rehearsal by Nathan Fielder. It's on HBO. It's a very
No.
weird comedy documentary. It's very, very weird. But anyway, he was in one of his episodes. I had to find the episode that he was talking about it. It was talking about going after things and not being afraid and like all the same old that we always hear, right? And I think that really resonates with me because it's like okay, you failed at something, but at least you tried. You
You
know what I
try.
mean? At least you tried, and that's all you can learn from that. And I was always thinking, how can I monetize in the book world, or how can I bring my love for coffee and books together? And I've halted myself from doing it so often, but it's like you got to just do it and not be afraid. Okay, so it fucking fails. You lose money off of it. Money will come and go. And
Money
so
comes and
that's
goes.
what will happen.
Exactly. And I think that so
Yeah.
many of us need to hear that because we do get paralyzed and it's like, but then I think you have regrets. And if you, it's, you will have regrets if you don't do it. And it's like that what if. And so many people do that with like writing a book. And I think that's why you should definitely try to do it because so many people say, oh, one day I'll write that book. Or like, think about how many people in your life it's like, oh, I've always wanted to write a book. And that's why I kind of like said to myself, I'm like, Stephanie, you have to do this or else you're going to like live your whole life to like this could be something and
Yeah.
that's why I want this
Yeah.
podcast because I feel like everybody has a story and we don't get to talk about it like on a cellular level with each other and share the struggles but at least we're doing something about it and because everybody has like they say everyone has a past. I think we have a story and I think that that's like it's releasing that shame of like oh you have a like you have a past or you have a story. It's like no, we have a story and we're going to weaponize it and we're going to like trudge forward.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Yeah.
Can you talk about this 5 hotter challenge?
Yeah. So, the 75 Hotter Challenge, it's based on like the 75 Hard, which is like this like psycho regimen people do, which basically is like no processed food. You're not eating sugar, no alcohol. You're working out twice a day. And like people have amazing results, but I'm like, that is not what I want to do. Like, I want to do 75 days hotter just to be a hotter version of myself. So, what I've done is like walking every day, drinking my water, less spending, read a spicy book a day, which I already do, you know, be a little bit more private with my things. One of my favorite things I did on the 75 Hotter is connecting more with people, like really connecting. That means you're either going to call them up or you're going to hang out with them in person beyond texting. And so it's going well. I have to double check because like I always just like I have like a chart that I fill in and like I think I have
Yeah.
like 2 weeks left. Goodness. But it's been great. And like again, like I don't want to become like a fitness account. I don't want to become like a mindfulness account or a spiritual account. Like I am just Alexandra, right? And I even said like I don't even know if I'm going to be sharing a lot about this, but like here you go. So I think
I
I'm
love
going to
it.
share like a recap, like another day in the life of somebody that's doing 75 days hotter, and kind of like what I learned. But what I've learned is that so far, I mean, being present is number one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and also not being just present, you have to be your number one advocate for everything. Like, you, I think I'm such a people pleaser, and I think I am, like, I always look out for other people, which I think is good, but you should never do that to the detriment of yourself. So for me, it's like,
Absolutely.
I think it's also like just like a huge mindset, and I feel greater about it. I feel happier that I'm doing it. Like, it's like I'm taking, like, for me, when I have to walk every single day, like, it forces me to walk. Like, it forces me to be present in my own body.
Yes.
And, I felt like I was more in tuned at work. I felt more accomplished with work, right? I felt more well-rounded, you know? And I think it's something that is here to stay the way I do things, you know? Yeah.
You're just becoming the best version of yourself, and I think that that's all we strive to do is become better. And it should be what we try to do,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I
I
agree.
try to pick a word of the year. My word has been discipline. Now, have I been? Not so much, but the 75 hotter has helped that, and I really
I
have
love that.
tried to implement some of your
And
tips
that's
because
why I said it's different for everybody. So if you don't feel like walking every single day is gonna make you hotter, then don't. Then
oh, I
don't do
love to
that.
walk. I
That's
love to walk.
amazing.
I have to. It's good for my
Here,
mental health. I need to be in nature.
what's your
Against the
sun?
plants. I'm a Taurus sun, Capricorn moon.
Capricorn moon. I'm a Capricorn rising.
Oh, what's your sun sign?
Sagittarius. And
Sagittarius.
my
Okay.
moon is Pisces. So it's interesting, right? My big three is water, earth, and fire.
So
And
you're
I feel
well
like I'm
rounded.
just very I am well rounded. So it's like I think that's like a cool thing about the 75 Hotter Challenge is like it I was craving that well roundedness because that's who I am in my daily life. You know what I mean?
For
Yeah.
sure. I was gonna guess you're a Capricorn. So it's funny that our rising sign is our first impression of people. So it's funny that
Oh
in
yeah.
my head I'm like, I think she's a Capricorn. She has Capricorn energy.
Sometimes I'm a November Sagittarius and
Oh,
which
okay.
is very different than December Sagittarius. Like
Yes. Yeah, very
Britney
different.
Spears Britney Spears is a December Sagittarius. I think that tells you everything you need to know. But so
Miley
is Taylor
Cyrus.
Swift.
Yeah.
And Miley Cyrus. There's a
Yeah.
lot of great Sagittarius girls out there, but yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm so like rooted in my beliefs with my big three, and I'm like, oh, why do I have to be so like earthy and like why couldn't I be like something a little bit more like spontaneous?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a big reason why I'm very much like I'm an introvert and extrovert. Like I feel
Mm.
like my Sagittarius is like more extroverted, like crazy wild, but then you have my Pisces that's like more like, oh my God, don't act so fucking insane. Everyone's gonna talk shit about you. Like nobody likes
Yeah.
you. And then my Capricorn is very much like, you're embarrassing us. Can you just stop? Like be
Yeah.
cool.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
What's your husband?
So he is a Gemini sun. His
That's
birthday's
such a
actually
good
on Saturday.
pairing.
You know what? It is such a good pairing. I'm very fortunate. I had no idea, like when we first started dating, that like we would be such a good pairing. But like I guess it's like opposite ends of the spectrum. We're so different but so alike. And air sign and fire. And I have no air in my chart, and so him being air is it's a good compliment. But he is. I always forget his big three. I don't know why it never sticks in my head. I think his rising. I think his rising is Aries, and then his, which makes sense, And then his moon, I want to say Virgo. I had to double check. I always forget. Yeah.
But Gemini and Sagittarius, that's a great pairing. And I love that. That's so cute. I'm so into astrology. I could talk about this for hours with people.
Same,
But can we give the people
same.
some insight into the Greek culture? Because I feel like you do a fabulous job at it. But for anybody who hasn't and doesn't know about like Greek culture and like kind of like the Greek school, like stigmas and everything like that.
Yeah. I love being Greek. I love being Greek. It's like a huge part of my life, and I don't know. I wouldn't want to be anything else if I wasn't Greek, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm like obsessed. And I feel like like what do you think, what are your thoughts on My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
I love it. It's autobiographical.
Yes. Okay, good. I'm
I
glad you feel
never
that way.
I the second movie was fine. It was whatever. I never saw the third movie actually, but like
Oh, me either.
she, she should never have done more than just the first movie. Like she should have left at the first
Let it
movie.
go.
Like it's iconic. You know what I mean?
Masterpiece.
Like I watched like a month ago and I was just like, this is the best movie ever. Like it's so good. It's so good. It's spot on. Like
So
some of
spot
the
on.
things were a little corny, but like it's truly like the bun cake scenario, which was like maybe like for her family, but like I was like, what are you talking about? Like I knew what bun cakes were since I was little. Like
Yeah.
Greeks love bun cakes. What are you fucking talking about? But like
Yeah.
I get it. I think it would have been funnier if like the mom showed up with like brownies. You know what I mean? Because like Greeks like don't do that. But like
No.
I get it. Bun cake was funny because it's like bunt
Fun.
and like the word and like she's like it's a cake. Like what are you talking about? But I loved it. I adored it, and especially with the father and daughter relationship, like I bawled my eyes out whenever the dad was like talking to her, and it was I love it. I love that movie so much.
Me too. And because it's polarizing because some Greeks don't like they don't want to be like associated with that movie, and then like other people like like us like it, and so I think it's funny to like get a sense of what your reaction would be to that, and I'm glad that you like it because I did
Yeah,
too.
I love it.
And
I love
like
it. I love being obnoxious about it. I love like I think I always make a joke like, "Oh, if you didn't know this, I'm Greek, by the way." Like I always like I I love it. And I think people love the Greek culture also. It's like so
yeah,
rich and so vibrant. And, the religion part is a huge part of our lives as well. Like I don't know about you, but like, I feel like with Greeks in Chicago, they grew up going to church. Like your Greek school was always affiliated with a church. Like it was
absolutely.
just such a big part of who you are. And
And I'm
I'm
half
very
Greek on my
fortunate.
mom's side. So like we took that like very heavily. Like my dad, like
Yeah.
he converted. My
Yeah.
son is baptized Greek. So yeah. And
That's great that your dad converted. You don't see that a lot. Yeah.
I mean you're fully Greek, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I kind of got like, the side eye from people being like, "Oh, you're only half Greek. You're not like a real Greek." And so I kind of grew up with that, was treated a little differently.
I think like people, I think like especially, I think now I think it's gonna start be different because I think a lot
Yes.
of marriages, intercultural marriages started happening.
Yes.
But like my niece is gonna be half Greek. My children will be half Greek. Well, my kids will actually be like 60% Greek.
Aw.
I think. I don't know. I can't do the math correctly. 70% Greek, actually. 70% Greek. Because like Nico is half, Nico is 25% Greek, and the rest of him is Serbian. But like Serbian culture is so similar to Greek culture. And so it's like, I think like, you know what? You can be half Greek, go for it. But like, you should still embrace the culture. Do you get it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you know the history of Greece? Like,
Yes.
it's so much more than just being it's so much more than being just Greek. You know what I mean? Like you have
Oh
to
my God,
understand
I
the
love that. I feel like you're
history and
healing
all.
my inner child. I feel like
Ah, you're welcome.
that's
You're
so cute.
welcome.
That's so cute. And like, yeah, like I was the only grandchild who spoke fluent Greek. So, and like understood it. So like I had a whole different like understanding of like my grandparents. I was the only, my brother doesn't even speak Greek. He understands it like a little bit. Like when I would go to church and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not going to speak it. I was like scared to like speak it and like really immerse
That
myself in it.
Yeah. When I went to Greece, like I had cousins or people like comment like, "Oh, you're Greek." Like you can just so tell that you're American, like talk shit about me. And then I realized growing up, I was like, I threw it back at them. I was like, okay, you fucking speak English then. Go for it. Speak English. Like, I want to hear you. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, that's like the point. Like, at least I can speak more than one language. You can't. And if you do speak English, it's very broken. You're not accentuating things correctly. Like, at least I'm fucking trying, bro. Like, thank you so
Yes.
much. So,
And I was like
again,
7. It's
I
like
think
it's like mean.
language,
It's like mean to like do to a child. You're
it
like
is
7.
mean.
You're excited to be Greek. Like if I said, "Oh, we can Greek," or like you're excited,
Yes,
and it's like it's not like
yes.
we were like adopting so many Italian traditions. Like my dad's Italian, so it's not like we were adopting like
Yeah,
the Italian traditions more or less. Like yeah, we had Sunday meatballs, but that was like about it. And like my dad, didn't really teach us anything with Italian, so it's like we were real. And like my
right.
grandparents spoke Greek. I made the Greek cookies with my grandma and like was around her all the time and knew the culture like great. So
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't tell if somebody was like, I'm Italian, right? And they grew up doing like the seven fishes on Christmas Eve. Like they are so big on just the cultural stuff of being Italian. Are they not Italian then? Because they can't speak the language? Like there's arguments to be made by both, but I would consider them Italian, you
yeah,
know?
exactly.
The best student in my Greek school class was half Greek. Like she was half Greek. Her mom was American, and she was the best student.
See,
Yeah,
give those
there you
half
go.
Greeks a chance. Give me a chance, little child Stephanie. But my last question, I could talk to you for hours. You're
I
amazing. I just
know.
want to say I
Thanks.
love speaking to you. Come back anytime, please. But my
Sure.
last question is, if your life was a book, what would we title this chapter?
Oh my God. You just gave me like chills.
Aw.
Oh my God, I love that. I'm gonna give you credit, but I'm gonna probably steal that for like an Instagram story, like
Okay.
question.
Yeah, this is my universal question that I am asking all of my guests.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What is this chapter in my life? You know what? I'll call it the waiting game.
I love that.
I would say, without going too much into anything, the waiting game. I think it's like more so like I'm waiting to see where my life goes. I'm waiting to see like what
Aw.
happens next. You know, like I
Yes. I love that.
getting married and having experienced the death of a parent in one fucking year. Like it's like pretty traumatizing. So I'm kind of like waiting to see like not to see if anything bad happens, but I'm kind of just like waiting to see where the next half of my life, like the next 50 years of my life go, you know?
Aw, I love that. That's so, and you know what? It's like you experience the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and you're waiting to see that, like, the fruition of everything that you've, like, built. And I think that that's so incredible. And you're so strong.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on. You're an amazing guest. Oh, where can people find you? I always forget this part.
You know what? You can follow me on Instagram, Literary Alexandra, and book talk too, but I'm pretty active on Instagram, like we said. And then also, if you want to give a follow to Elevate Coffee Shy, CHI, that's my coffee shop. And so, yeah, we don't post a lot there.
Bye, honey. Thank you so much. Bye, storyteller.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Storytelling with Stephanie. If you liked today's episode, be sure to follow, leave a quick review, and share it with a friend. I'll be back next week with more stories. Until then, keep living your truth and rewriting your own story.